Yeah, so today I wanted us to start from where we left next time. Last time, where we left last time. And we were looking at how object-oriented programming works, and we say that it has different features, and the four main core concepts of object-oriented programming, they are inheritance, abstraction, poly, and also encapsulation. And in this, we say that inheritance, it works the same as literal inheritance in real life. So this means that in inheritance, a class is able to use uh, properties and methods that are defined in another class. So you can think of this as how a class can borrow something from another class. And that is where we introduce the concept of parent and child. Okay, we have the parent class and we have the child class. And what this means is that the child class can access the properties and the methods of the parent class. And that is why we said it works the same as how the literal inheritance would work in life. Like how you can be able to access some of the things that your parent have. And actually, you tend to find that some of these possessions your parents will leave to you. And yeah, and also some of the things you can access, but the others, there are some that even if you have your parent, there are some things that you can't access. And that is what we'll see how we can create such a relationship. Another name to name these, how another way to name these parent and child relationship, you can also name it as, is it called uh, parent? We've said that this is the parent class and this is the child class. Another way to name it is the super class and subclass. So you can call the parent class as the superclass, and you can call the child class as the subclasses. And yeah, I think there's another third name, but just know it's the parent and the child. This is how most of most of most of the people refer to it as. And I hope you can all see my screen. I've had a notification, don't know whether it's a message. And yeah, if you have any problem, just tell me. You can just send a text message on the chat, or you can just unmute your mic and talk. So we have, that is how inheritance works, and we'll see how we can implement this type of inheritance. And we also talked about abstraction, and this is how we can have a class that will hide the complexities, and also we can be using things such as interfaces that are implemented in different classes. And then we have polymorphism, and we shall see how the objects can react differently. And we have encapsulation, and I think last time we looked much about encapsulation, and these are the levels of protection, where we have public, private, and protected, to hide the levels of protection in a particular class. Or encapsulation, you can just think of it as having everything in a single class, and maybe having it defined, having all your data in a particular class, and specifying whether you want to hide the data or not, or just ensuring that not anyone can modify your data. This is the exact same thing we did with something like the password. We said that this password cannot be modified by any means, and we try to modify this password by going to the main class and using the object of the student. So we just try to do something like student.password is equals to 12333, and the error that we were getting is that password has private access in the class student, and that means that you cannot modify this password. You cannot absolutely modify this password, and the only way to do that would be to create a method that can modify this password in this class. And for that method, you have to make it public. That is the only way you can modify the password. And that is to show you an example of maybe how encapsulation would work by hiding some particular data. Unlike if something is public, like the registration number, which is public, or the course is public and also is fees paid, you can just say that if you wanted to change the reg number, you come here and say that the student.reg number is equals to C024, and then you do something like 01 and then 233 and then stroke 2023. That is how you can modify this reg number value. So even if you maybe had set the reg number here in this class to be, maybe you had said that the reg number is equals to something like 23 2000. Let's say you had set the reg number to be 2000. If you ran this program, and you can see there's an error here because there's no way I can change the password. So what I'll do is I'll comment to disable that code, and if this reg number was 2000, there's a change that will happen here. It will be changed to 2333 because this field is public and it has been modified in another class. It has been modified in this class, and if I run this program by not modifying that value, and let's say I will also display, where am I? Let's have a method to display the reg number. Public void display reg number sout, so you can just write sout system.out.print my registration number is, then you say reg number. Let us see the output of this piece of code. Let's see the output of it. And we have created this method in the student class, and since it's a public method, we can do the same thing that we always do. We can call it on the main method, and I can call it as the last thing and say student dot display reg number, student dot display reg number. And let me run the file and see what reg number is. So what will be done, when the computer executes this line of code, it will know that student, what is the value of student? Student is the new student class. So it's an object of the student class, and this student allows us to use all these methods and all these attributes and methods that are in the student class, but they have to be public. They have to be public. And so you can say student dot display reg number, because it's a public method in this class. And when you say display reg number, you'll see that my registration number is reg number, of which reg number we have defined it up here and said public string reg number. So this is the reg number, it's 2000. And if I run the code, I expect the output to be now 2000. And let me run the code so that you can see the output. As it's running, you can see the output down here. It will display all those things because we are displaying them. We are still displaying them up here. We are still displaying the password. And now we have added to display the reg number. So my registration number is C024 2000. But now what we can do is we can change that registration number here. If I uncomment that code, we are changing the registration number to 333333 stroke 2023. This output had the output as 2000, but since it has been changed in this class, the new value of the reg number will actually now be this. And if I now run the code, you'll get to see that my registration number is C021 and then 3333. That is because the registration number is public. Okay, public. So if you don't want to change something like the registration number again, you just make it private. Simple as that. Since now we've made it private, the main class, this class cannot be able to now modify its value. It cannot be able to now modify its value. And if I try to run the code, it will give me the compilation error. Reg number has private access, so you can absolutely not modify it at all. Now you may tend to ask yourself, how can we modify it? The only way to modify this would be to create a public. You create a public method that will modify the registration number. That is how you can modify this reg number. So you create a public method down here to modify the reg number. Use this function or this method. Let me just call it function. And this function normally called a setter function. Because it will set the value of the registration number from outside. So it will set the value of the registration number from outside. So our method here, it has to have a parameter. We talked about parameters, and I know that you know what parameters are. And to create now that method with a parameter, you can say public void and set reg number, and now this set reg number, it will have what is the data type of our reg number? It's a string. So it will have a string argument of the new registration number. So it will have a string argument, and the string argument will be string new reg number, new registration number. And then you say that reg number, now the reg number that is up here, this reg number. Okay, I don't know why it has done that, but I think I've opened the string class. Sorry about that, but we looked at that last time and how you can open a particular class. And now what this will do, you say the reg number that is up here, this private string reg number, it will be equals to whatever has been brought in here by this method. So it's equals to new reg number. So the reg number that is up there will be equals to the new registration number. And now this is the method that you can use to change the registration number. This is the only way you can change that registration number, not by doing this. So now if I wanted to set that registration number to this, I will now just call that method and give it my reg number as the parameter. So I'll just say my student dot set registration number, and then give it that parameter. Say student dot set reg number, and then now give it that parameter. You can see I'm giving the parameter in here as the new registration number. And this is how we can set the reg number now. If we were to run, let me first disable so that you can see the changes. If I was to run that code, it will use the old registration number 2000. So let me just run it so that you can see the change. If it happens, you can see that the registration number is 2000. So now let me just uncomment that code. That will now set the registration number to that 3333. And when I run the code, you'll see that it has actually been changed to the new value, but it has been changed in a special way, not like how I was changing these others, where you are just saying dot the first name is equals to that, last name is equals to that. This case we had to create a public method inside our student class, and that public method is what now changed the registration number, which is up here, to be to the new registration number, which means is it will be equated to whatever the number will be brought in here using this function. And that is the exact same thing that we can do for our password. If we wanted to change the password, when we run our code, our password is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Our password is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Let's say we wanted to change that password to 54321, and this is the code that I was telling you, that you can just say student.password is equals to 54321. You can't do that because it's the same concept. The password is private here. and you are trying to access a private thing, you can do that. It will just yield to an error because you can see it's already red, crying out loud. Yeah, so to set the password, it's just the same thing. If you understand how to do one of these things, uh, setter for the password, and you just say public void set password. Simple as that. And then you ask yourself, what is the data type of the password? The password is it's a string, so it will also receive a string argument, new password. Then you do like that, and now say the password up here, the password up there, password is equals to new password. And that is how you can set the password. That is the only way you can set the password. And if I run this password, if I now call this method, it will now change that password to whatever the value I will provide. So if I run my code, my password is 1234567. Yes, my password is 1234567. To change that password, I now have to call that code that can change the password, which is like this. I just say student dot set password, and then now I give it the new password, which is 54321, just like that, and that will be the new password. And if I run my code, the new password will actually be changed to 54321. So now that is how the protection levels in OOP can work. And the other keyword that we have not yet used is now this protected. This protected, now we will use it in the concept that we are learning next, which is the inheritance stuff. And this is how you can set a password. And let us just try and do for the last thing, string course, gender, character gender. So gender was a character and it was set to M. What I want us to do is to public int age. Let us use something like the age. So let's make age private. I just want to show you something else that you might meet up there. And if we wanted to edit that age or to setter for age, and you say public void and just say set age. And now for the age, it's a different data type. Our age is an int. It's just the same thing. What you need to provide here is an int. And what you can say, new age. But if you did not want to use a new age, and then you say age is equals to new age, this new age represents the value that has been set when you are calling this function. You'll meet this concept so much when you are dealing with constructors and everything. I'm pretty sure that you have dealt with constructors, but if you also would want me to repeat that concept, I can actually repeat it. And now this is how you can set the age. But you'll tend to find that some people, they don't actually change this age to new age. They just use the same name age. But as you can see, here is it's actually grayed out because it's kind of confused. What do you mean by all these ages? Like, you're just naming them all of them age. So it's using this age here also. So if you want to specify that it's this age that is up here, that is why you normally use the keyword that is called this. That is why you use the keyword that is called this. So you say this dot age is equals to age. This keyword, it's just actually funny because it just represents this object, this particular object. When you see this keyword, it means this class. So what it is specifying, it is the age that is present in this class as an attribute here, up here. So it's representing this age that is up here, and that is what it's equating to the new age that has been brought down here. And if you are to set this age to maybe 18, before setting it up, let me see whether there's or whether we are all together. Yeah, I will be forwarding all the code that I have typed. I will be forwarding. I can also host this project on GitHub or something. But yeah, I'll be forwarding this code. And this is how you can set the age for this class. And to display the age, we can display here where we were doing all this. So you can just say here, so you say system dot out dot println, then you say my age is, and then you say age. And if I was to run this code without setting the age, and this code is from some of it we wrote last lesson, and I'm pretty sure the YouTube link was shared. So if maybe you hadn't checked out the lecture where we were doing all these, just check it on the link that was shared. If I was to run this code, you'll see that my age is 18. Why 18? Because we set 18 up here, up here the age. This is where we set our age to be 18. Now if we were to modify this age, because our variable is private, we have to now use this public age method that we have created to set our age. And now to set our age, you just go to, before you display age, before where age is displayed, you just set it. And so it's a student dot set age. Set the new age to be 20. Our previous age was 18, but now our new age is 20. And as you can see, my new age is 20. And yeah, and that's it. That is how you can set all these things. You can set up all these things.